Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? I'm doing great myself because we have some more salt to take a look at that came about as a result of the recent state of play. Now, I don't think I need to explain this at this point, but the recent state of play was, it was a state of play, there's no doubting that. But jokes aside, when even PlayStation fanboys like the amazing Lucas and MBG can't defend this, you know this was bad. And we're gonna be taking a look at MBG's post-event reactions. And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at what he posted on Twitter because it is nothing but pure cope. And on one post, it was either a developer or a publisher of an upcoming game. They had to come in and correct him because he was trying to make Xbox look bad. Oh, it was absolutely beautiful, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at his reaction to the state of play.
We'll be back with more announcements soon. Thanks for watching.
More announcements soon, huh? Really? By soon, do you mean like 3 months, 4 months? Could you give us something? Please? Like, give us something? No way. No way, dude. Okay, we gotta talk. Give me just a second here.
I mean, honestly, that's a pretty valid reaction. But right off the jump, you can tell this guy is mad. He's like half yelling, but he's got a smile on his face at the same time. And then by the end, he just sounds depressed. Which, honestly, I can't really blame him. But at the same time, you'd think since he's a PlayStation news channel, he would be keeping up with the fact that Sony said this was going to be all third-party stuff in PSVR 2 titles. Which is going to be very important in a few minutes.
We gotta talk about this. I got some things to say, and I have to, oh, man. Okay, so let's talk about that state of play, shall we? Let me exit out of here so I can see what you guys are saying. I am in shock and awe right now. Not in a good way.
You already know in his head he's thinking, Sony, how could you do this to us? Now I have to damage control for you guys on Twitter. How could you reveal only third-party games at a third-party event? But oh my god, can you guys just see how salty this guy is? Did you see, like, right at the end of the clip, that little smile he put on when he said he was in shock and awe and not in a good way? Oh my god. Honestly, I think there's more salt radiating from this guy than there was from Lucas. And that's really saying something. But whenever somebody's smiling when they're talking about how disappointed they are in something, you know you're in for a good time. Or if you're at the receiving end of it, a pretty bad time.
Rooster Jackson, you're saying, now we know why Sefton left. Awful. Aaron Yogurt says, Apex Squad kill the Arkhamverse. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm more disappointed with right now. I'm trying to determine, like, am I more disappointed in Suicide Squad kill the Justice League? Or am I more disappointed in that this is how Sony wants to kick off 2023.
Oh, he's so mad. I love it. I mean, I absolutely agree. Don't get me wrong. This was a terrible showcase. And this was an awful way to start out 2023. But, and I think he talks about this later, actually, and a lot of people have been throwing this around. People are theorizing that it's because they want to look bad since, you know, the Microsoft acquisition trial is going on right now. So people are theorizing that Sony just wants to look weak, which definitely is possible, but I think that's a bit on the nose, and I'm not sure how much I believe it. Because Sony only had one first-party game coming this year anyway. And honestly, if they wanted to make themselves look like the victims, they probably shouldn't be going through with this whole Final Fantasy and Forspoken exclusivity. As well as, you know, exclusive content in Modern Warfare 2, which is one of the games Microsoft is trying to acquire. You know, irony at its finest. But getting back to MBG, I love how he's so mad that not only is he smiling, he's like laughing to himself. This was such a bad showcase that all he can do is laugh. This is like some supervillain type thing. It's like something goes horribly wrong and then all they can do is laugh as they're plotting out what they're about to do in retaliation. Sony, you might want to keep your doors locked is all I'm saying.
Look, I want to be fair, and I want to try not to be too overreactive right now. So you're saying state of flop. Look, I want to first state that I understand that there are people who tune into these, and no matter how underwhelming they may be, they might see a game or two that they think looks pretty good. I mean, like, you see the VR games that they showed at the beginning, some people might think, oh, that looks good. You see some of the indie games they show, people think maybe it looks good. Maybe some people are just happy to see Street Fighter 6. Fine. I'm not trying to say that if you liked anything you saw here, that there's a problem with you or that it's not okay, it's fine. But I have to be totally honest in how I feel right now, and I feel like this was just kind of unbelievably disappointing from start to finish. I don't...
Pure disappointment. Oh my god, I almost feel bad. Almost. I would feel bad, but then I remember that this is the guy who on Christmas made a Console Wars tweet saying that we should feel sorry for the people who got an Xbox instead of a PlayStation. He tweeted that at 8 a.m. on Christmas morning. If you're gonna be this much of a fanboy, then you honestly deserve to be disappointed. To put it in song form,
You are coping and seething. You just can't accept what you're seeing.
I don't tune into state of plays like this expecting a showcase. Okay, like I don't expect like Sony to come out and be like, Sony, show me like 5 first-party games. Show me your entire slate. I don't. I really, really don't. What I do expect though is to not be left feeling like, why did I even watch this? There was nothing here. I mean, genuinely, man, like, I just think it's kind of insane to think that Sony has not had a showcase in almost a year and a half. Really fucking think about that. It's been almost a year and a half since a proper PlayStation showcase.
just remember that he pointed that out. It's been a year and a half since the last showcase, because that's going to be very important later for his cope session on Twitter. But you know this dude is mad when he starts swearing, because as far as I know, this dude, like, doesn't swear at all. Maybe sometimes on his live streams, but I haven't watched a single video of his where he's actually sworn once. Now, it's not excessive swearing like that one guy I covered like a month ago, who was really salty about Hi-Fi Rush. But if somebody never swears and then they start swearing just out of nowhere with really no reason to, they're typically either extremely excited or salty. I think you guys can guess which emotion he's feeling right now. But even though he is salty, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. He is absolutely speaking facts. There was no reason to watch this whatsoever, unless you bought PSVR 2 and you're really looking for a game to play, or if you're one of the 2 people out there who's actually excited about the Suicide Squad game.
The last thing we've heard, basically, from their first party was about God of War, which makes sense, but we've gotten, like, nothing. And, you know, we have the Horizon DLC, of course, and we have Naughty Dog teasing things, but it's just, I'm not saying I expected anything mind-blowing, but I just can't help but look at this and think, what?
Again, with the sad coping laughter. But it's funny, dude, I could have sworn that just like, what, a minute ago or something, you were saying that you never go into these expecting like a showcase or anything. And you weren't expecting first-party games, especially since, you know, they said it wasn't going to be first-party stuff. But it really sounds like you're complaining now that there wasn't any first-party stuff. And yes, it definitely has been a while. You're not wrong about that. It's just weird to me that you're saying, oh, I don't go into this expecting like the first-party stuff or a major showcase or anything, but now you're complaining that we haven't seen first party stuff in a little bit. It just doesn't really add up to me. Saying you don't expect first party stuff and then complaining that we haven't seen first party stuff.
The thing that sticks out the most to me is, what was Sony thinking doing a dedicated 15-minute demo of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League? Like, Sony, you could have done literally anything with any of your studios, but you decide we're going to show Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure it was a contractual obligation or something like that. I could be wrong about that, but I don't really see why else they would do that. But again, with this first party stuff, dude, earlier you said you weren't expecting like first party things or a showcase or anything like that. And they even said it was going to be all third party stuff and virtual reality stuff. And you're still saying, oh, well, where was the first party stuff? As a PlayStation fanboy, I would think you would be more in the loop about this whole thing, but apparently not. But hey, it's creating some great salt. So I guess thank you for that.
Okay, fine. Look, I understand the PS5's doing great. PS5's selling incredibly well. You know, it's not slowing down. Sony's on the up and up, but it's like, come on, man. Really? You know, like we couldn't even get like a new minute-long Spider-Man trailer or anything. Yeah, no Stellar Blade, no Rise of Ronin, no Silent Hill 2 remake.
I mean, those last two are reasonable things to ask for, but Spider-Man 2 and Stellar Blade are both being published by Sony. They said no first-party games at this event. They tried to set expectations and you just didn't pay attention and now you're disappointed. This would be like complaining that we didn't get any Star Wars Jedi Survivor gameplay or trailers at the Xbox event. That's dumb because they already specified it was first-party stuff only, just like Sony specified this was third-party stuff only. You can judge this event saying that the third-party offering was pretty crap besides what Capcom brought, but you can't judge it by saying that Sony didn't show any first-party stuff because they already said they weren't going to. Now let me be clear, I'm not saying you can't be upset that there wasn't first-party stuff, but you can't be told that, oh, there's not going to be any first-party stuff, and then afterwards be like, where was it? It makes no sense.
You know, I don't know, man. I see some people in the chat that they're like saying I'm crying or a crybaby. Look, man, say what you want, but I would be shocked if anybody could call that a good state of play. If you want to say it was like okay, at most, like it was okay. It was okay.
Well, you kind of are crying, I'm not gonna lie. They said beforehand there aren't gonna be first-party games, and now that it's over, you're like, where are the first-party games? Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, guys, we're not quite done yet. I just wanted to take a look at some tweets that he put out after this whole live stream, and it's just pure copium. There's no other way to put it. So we start off with this tweet, and nothing really wrong with it. He just says, oh, it's wild that it's been like a year and a half since the last showcase. And I do agree, that is quite a good chunk of time. So doesn't seem too bad so far, right? Well, this transitions into the next one, and this is where the copium really comes in, because he says, perfect storm brewing. Sony has more development studios than ever, more games in development than ever, minimal new first-party reveals for over a year, longest Sony has ever went without a showcase, and the PS5 shortage is over. And look, he is kind of spitting facts to an extent, but at the same time, it's kind of ironic. PlayStation fanboys will always attack Microsoft for every little thing, including if they go like a decent portion of time without showing stuff, or barely having any games on the way or whatever. But now that PlayStation is having that same thing happen to them, all of a sudden it's, oh, it's a perfect storm that's brewing. Big things are on the way, guys, trust me. You can actually hear the copium being huffed. It goes like... And I don't know, I don't think this tweet would have been too bad under normal circumstances, but the fact that this came right after the disastrous state of play, you know, I can't help but feel like he's coping. But this leads us to the final tweet and the one I wanted to talk about earlier, where the game dev comes in and corrects him. Because, you know, PlayStation fanboys love to say that the Series S is a potato, the Series S is holding back gaming, whatever you want to say. So MBG puts out this tweet saying, apparently Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't have an exclusivity deal with PlayStation. It's not releasing on Xbox yet due to development issues with the Series X and S. Huh. And then the dev just comes in and says, we aren't releasing any console version yet because it's not August 31st. So there you go. Once again, a fanboy is being shut down by a dev. The same thing happened to Crap Gamer back when Microsoft announced that, what was it, like Crackdown was going to PC or something? And Crap wasn't too happy, and then he said he like canceled his pre-order or whatever, and then Phil Spencer came in and roasted him. It was honestly glorious, and I just love seeing ponies getting owned by devs. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will catch you all next time.